We doing any sort of cold open, anybody, or no?
Dude, to be perfectly honest with you, I was kicking around. I was absolutely kicking around telling you guys, like, just being like, guys, I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood, but can't leave it to you guys, dude. Look, I beef knows more than anybody how I get, and
Okay.
it's one of those things where I'm like, no, can't just sit and wallow. Can't do that. Can't do that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I know what you mean. I've been kind of, I don't know. I was talking to my girl earlier, and I was just like, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm just feeling off." Like, I don't know what it is.
As cliche as it sounds, it's the change in seasons. Like,
It
absolutely is. Like, I'm not even, like, I believe that because, like, dude, I was coming home yesterday, and it was 5:30, and it looked like it was 10 o'clock at night. Like, that fucking sucks.
Yep.
That
Yep.
sucks. Ugh. It's the worst. We need to do away with daylight savings time. We need to do away with that shit. It's stupid.
I agree.
Speaking of stupid,
You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver. What the hell is that? Podcast.
hi everyone, this is the P3 Podcast, and I am your reigning, defending, undisputed, chooserweight champion, Poot the Bard. And I am joined by Mr. Alec Oh, wait a minute.
Nope.
He's off doing some madman shit. My advocate's out there advocating for me. That's what he's doing. But I am joined with one of our lovely sponsors and all-around great guy, Mr. Tiger.
Uppercut.
Bomb Tom. Tom, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. I tell you what, for future reference, we can leave out the uppercut because I'll have to hit you with the uppercut out of nowhere. It's gotta have a wow factor, a surprise factor, if you will. You know?
No. Listen. I got rid of the Bebe and Poot the Bard because of gimmick infringement. I had lawsuits. I had to have Bardic Industries taking care of things. It's messy. I'm not going to get into it for legal purposes, but you can't have it be out of nowhere. It's got to be from left field.
Okay, gotcha. Well, even more reason for me to get rid of it then, because I don't want Capcom coming after me. So
don't want that. All right. Speaking of Capcom coming after things, Beef the Legend because jokes.
I don't know what to do with that intro.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Were we
How long?
part of like the weirdest cold open ever? By the way, it feels like we were.
I don't know. Maybe you were. Maybe you weren't. It all depends on the guy who edits the damn thing. Oh wait, that's you. That's this guy. How are you faces doing? We had a week off last week.
You know what? Honestly, it's depending on if it came across in the cold open or not. I'm gonna break kayfabe for a second. I've been feeling a little bit off. I think because of the change of the season and the lack of daylight. Like I realized, I came out of work the other day, 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's pitch black outside. And I was like, "Fuck! Like what the hell, man?" But surprisingly, one thing that's getting me through is a whole bunch of violence and Norse mythology.
Oh, yeah. How's that going, by the way?
I am loving it.
Norse mythology. Is that like the new? Is that the God of War, God of Call of Duty War Omens 3? The Reckoning?
Dude, whoa.
Wait, I'll handle this.
Okay, you go ahead.
Oh wait. You don't blaspheme the series tradition of God of War with Call of Duty in there. You take that back immediately, good sir, or we will have a duel.
I was showing my age. No, I mean
they focus on the Norse mythology.
Is that because Kratos killed everybody else in the Greek and Roman?
Pretty much. I mean, he was spoiler alert. He killed Zeus.
I knew that.
He accidentally kills Athena. So I mean, he pretty much killed like all the gods of Olympus. So I think he was just trying to kind of lay low and get away, and he goes around to Midgar and everywhere else, but he can't lay low for long, it seems. So.
That's a wonderful tagline you just made for your Let's Plays or whatever you're calling them.
Listen to Papa Beef over here. Whatever those Let's Plays are called.
What's that? Can't lay low for long?
Oh no, the whole setting up the I wonder how this will turn out. Like it's a nice lead in. Shut up, Poot. You know what?
And then he follows up with, I love your Let's Play videos on the Twitch space. It's super great. They're really fun to watch. You should play Asteroids.
Hey, speaking of my videos on the Twitch space, why don't we thank some sponsors here?
Beef, this is your department. Go for it, Tiger.
Okay. I want to thank both of our wonderful sponsors this evening, as we always do, because we are so blessed to have people in our corner, like the amazing #blessed,
#live love love,
#thankful,
you don't know me.
We are very thankful though, in the spirit of thanks, to be able to have sponsors like our guy Sean Tischler, going to bat for us and throwing our name out there to some of the indies' brightest talents, and letting us enjoy IWC, and letting all of Central Pennsylvania really get to enjoy IWC. And speaking of IWC, in a couple weeks, coming up on December the 7th, there is a IWC show in Elizabeth.
I may be going to that.
Pittsburgh, I think it's a Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic.
It is. You are correct, sir.
Good card coming up. I saw that they have obviously Argos versus Pollock, but I also saw they have the man formerly known as Gory, and I forget his new name, vying for the.
If I may interject, Gory's new name is Angelic with a K.
Angelic, yes.
And then
going against the Super Indie champion, who's, my goodness, name escapes me.
Johnny Patch.
My goodness.
By godness. And can I just say that Argos is still even as hilarious on social media. He posted I follow him on Instagram, and he posted a throwback picture, and he was wearing like an old Pittsburgh shirt. And I asked him, I was like, oh, I commented, I was like, do you happen to have one of the new ones that they had whenever they came through with AEW? And he said something about, he's like, yeah, I've had it, and you can find that and all the other amazing merchandise in my section or whatever. I was like,
yeah, right.
That's great.
I saw that.
Fucking Argos. So I was like, I love it,
dude. He's awesome.
He's good.
He is pretty awesome. That's why.
So is the man.
That's why the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast are like the official #marks of the era of Argos.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man.
I say we declare him the official P3 wrestler.
Right. I don't know, man. There are definitely a couple that could vie for that, but we'll I suppose we'll get into that at some point. And then we definitely want to thank our own Tigerbomb Tom over here, Casual Gaming Dad himself, for the wonderful Let's Play streams, Twitches, and the what have yous on the YouTubes and the Facebooks. But no, for real though, you always got some great content, be it God of War, be it playing through the South Park games, be it through playing even miring through the wonderful car accident that is WWE 2K20, and you do it flawlessly, as well as kicking up the old retro stuff too. So very very entertaining stuff on your Facebook page, the Casual Gaming Dad Facebook page, as well as Casual Gaming Dad's Corner. All of the wonderful streams you have are very very good there. So I'm just
gonna make a disclaimer and tell you all that this week's retro stream for the Retro League competition is going to be anything but fabulous. It's going to be a literal nightmare. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh no!
What a great game!
Are you kidding me?
Super easy.
Fuck you in your face. Are you shitting me?
Have Beef do the run, man. Have Beef do the run. See how he does.
Yeah, no shit.
It's been a hot minute, but I could probably still ace it.
Really?
It was. Oh no, yeah,
Yes,
man. I mean, it's just not the easiest thing in the world, but it's a side-scrolling platformer. So you gotta do what you can.
Well, see, yeah, I tried playing it once before. I don't remember why. Like, it was just amongst a bunch of ROMs that I had, and I've tried playing it. And I'm like, what the actual fuck is going on in my life right now? Like I know people.
Yeah, you have to like collect body parts and like burn them. Yeah, it's.
And here's the thing,
it's
like,
a whole new level of fuck.
I know it's like, different strokes for different folks. Some games just come a lot easier. Like for me, I had a very easy time with Friday the 13th. I actually knew what to do. Even not trying to speed run it, watching other people play and watching how much they struggled, I was like, well, I mean, like, there is game facts. I mean, and it did help that I had the instruction manual as a child, with the actual cartridge. That's the first thing I do is read the instruction manual so I know what the fuck I'm doing. But, I get that. Different games might be challenging for some versus others. I can't wait until the week we have Super Metroid, because my apologies in advance to Old School Gamer Mama. I think she might listen to the podcast because she is also a big wrestling fan. In general, pro wrestling, and she's actually posted pictures whenever her and her family has gone to like different indie events in our little group chat for the guild. So,
awesome!
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
That's
so,
really
cool.
so guys, I got a few wrestling fans in there, and amongst the United Gaming Guild and the Gould Gaming. I try to make sure to keep them abreast of everything. Like, hey,
Yeah. Well, we always enjoy having quasi superstars like you and the folk tune in. So definitely. So them's the sponsors. How about we talk some wrestling, I guess?
Speaking of
that's
quasi
what we're doing.
superstars, yeah. Speaking of quasi superstars, I guess. So, either one?
Are we talking? Are we talking about Impact now? Is that what's happening? Was that you segued into Impact?
I was going to say either.
Can I go outside? Tom, do you have food? Tom, I love you.
Wow.
Beef. I love you, Beef.
Thank you guys.
I was going to say either Impact, or I was going to say, and this is no slight to IWC, just saying that they're not like mainstay television talent yet or anything like that, but we still love them. I was going to say, are either one of you guys going to be going to or try to go to the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic on the 7th?
I don't know. I really want to, but I have a prior engagement that shouldn't go into the evening, but at the same time, it's like I want to take time, and because the holidays are about spending time with people you love, yada yada yada. But at the same time, I really want to go see IWC. So,
are you saying that you don't love your champ, Jackson Argos? How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir?
Of course I do. But I mean, like I want to. The whole, it's cost prohibitive too. Again, it's the holidays where you're shelling out cash for everything, and my wife wants to go with me. So I mean, and we'd love to make the trek down to Elizabeth and see the show, but so we'll see. It's kind of up in the air as we speak.
Poot, what how's it looking for you? I know.
Same thing. I have a prior engagement, and for that prior engagement, I just look, without trying to be as vague as possible, I'm not entirely sure. I'd love to go, but dude, honestly, like last weekend I had a gig. Let's see, not this past weekend. 2 weeks ago I had a gig.
Right.
Then I had a weekend where I was doing shit. Then I had a gig last week. Then I have a gig this Saturday as well.
That's right, you do.
I have not had in earnest like a weekend to me for a couple months, and I'm starting to hit the wall.
Yeah,
that's tough for sure.
And so I don't know. We'll see. Like it's not that it wouldn't be fun. It's like it's one of those things that you're just kind of like, man, I kind of want to just not have to be like, okay, I got to do this, then I got to leave at this time, then I got to get there, then I got to do that. I just kind of want to do, what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Chill.
What was it? I lose track of the weeks. I think it was last week whenever we had skipped.
Tranquilo.
Tranquilo. Yeah, I get you, because I was actually supposed to go this past. I actually was just this last week. this past Thursday, Bit Brigade was playing down in the city, and they're going to be playing music from, I believe, Metroid and either Contra or Castlevania. I can't remember which. But it was on a Thursday night, and I had made plans. I told my girl, I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to go to this. And then my body decided, like, Monday and Wednesday nights to just, like, say, nope, sleep. And I was out, like, before I had to stream. So I ended up making up those streams on Tuesday whenever we took off. And on Thursday, I actually told her, I was like, I need to make up this stream. I was like, because I feel terrible. I was like, and I really want to play the game anyways. So 2 birds, 1 stone. And so that's what I ended up doing. But
I mean, regardless of the idiots here, you listeners should definitely check it out, because here's the thing. IWC is a very special format and a very special show. You are going to see people on that show that you will see in other promotions on television, i.e. Britt Baker, i.e. Wardlow, and sharing some love here. Imagine Wrestling, same thing. They work with a lot of the same talent. They had a bunch of awesome debuts on Saturday night with the Lebanon Don, a resident Pittsburgh Piledriver favorite as well, making his successful debut over there, as well as Sean Phoenix, another IWC mainstay, and Mr. Fear the Gear himself, Spencer Slade, picking up the Imagine title off of Chris LaRusso. So, yeah, man.
But by the way, with the IWC stuff, I'm gonna try to make it. I actually gotta talk to Plumber about. I know, like, kids tickets are under a certain age, they're discounted.
$10, I think. Yeah,
but I think that applies to just the general admission. I'm not sure about, like, ringside, so I'll have to talk to him and ask. But it's perfect timing. It's it's a few days after my daughter's birthday, and I think they were actually just asking me recently about, like, going to wrestling or something like that.
Oh,
and,
dude.
Yeah, so I think
it's a great way to introduce them, man. 100%.
Well, they've been to SmackDown before.
Oh, right on. Well, there you go. This is
probably
you
want to take them to an actual wrestling show.
Hey, listen,
man.
Hold on. Before we get off this topic here, I gotta say, to my son's credit, this was so when I took him to see SmackDown. This was a while ago. I think whenever Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss were both on SmackDown,
right?
And so I said to him, there's two other people that came out, and I said, oh, who do you like better? Do you like Becky, or do you like whoever else? And he's like, where's Alexa? And I was like, my man.
That's great.
Raising them right. Yes, sir.
Dude.
Yes, sir.
Proud Papa Tom.
Like, there would have been no wrong answer no matter what he said. So
that's awesome.
Although I think I told you guys in the chat, I got to share this with everybody who all 4 of you that might be listening. So my daughter was watching NXT with me for this past week's NXT, the opening match with Lio Rush and Angel Garza. And, as anybody who watches NXT and knows who Angel Garza is, knows his kind of shtick with, taking off the tearaway pants or whatever. So my daughter watches that. She sees that whenever Angel Garza goes over to Lio Rush's, girlfriend and kids, or wife and kids or whatever, throws off the pants, and she's like, ugh, gross. And I was like, I just started laughing. She's like, I don't ever want to see that. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. Please stay this way for at least another 10 years.
Oh, bide your time, my friend. Bide your time.
I know. It's going to come like a fucking freight train. So I guess that's a pretty good segue. Do we want to talk a little bit of NXT from last week?
Okay.
I mean, it's not like anything big has happened in the last 2 weeks of wrestling, right?
Well. Not like so. Listen, Tom, I know you're not a fat guy, but don't try and imitate our laugh. That's our laugh, okay?
Hey! No, if I was going to imitate a fat guy, this is my fat guy voice. It's the, hey, wait, no.
We're not geriatric.
We're not old men.
No,
Listen,
it's straining. That's a straining for voice. Because never mind. Anyways, go ahead.
No, it's no. If you want to do a fat guy voice, Tom, you have to kind of talk like you have jowls.
Yeah.
You gotta really dig in there,
gotta-
pretend that you're just really hungry for bacon.
You got to pull the Godfather and talk like you got cotton swabs in your mouth, like something's always in your mouth, cotton swabs, chicken,
Yes.
fucking half a baby, something,
Kind of over like this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
you're getting there.
I literally
All right.
just shoved my fingers in my mouth and pulled my teeth apart.
now that we've been sure to offend most of the people who listen to our contracts. Oh my goodness, I'm out.
Buffoon? What are you talking about?
Fat and everything, you buffoon. No, dude, okay. I will say this. I think wasn't it this week that was the what was it? Was it Angel Garza, Leo Rush?
Yes.
Oh, it was so
Dude,
good.
Oh my god. And also, I wanted to introduce a new thing. Thank God we're talking about this. Theme of the week. Theme of the week. Okay. Leo Rush's theme is a banger. Dude,
Pretty fucking great.
It's a banger.
I gotta go back and listen to it, honestly. I caught it a little bit, but I didn't really pay too much attention to it.
Oh, dude, it's one of those songs. Like I pulled it up. It was one of the recommended songs on my Amazon music, and I was like, Leo Rush's theme. What is his theme? And I pulled it up, and immediately it made me go like, I want to go to the fucking gym.
Nice.
Like it was just like
NXT.
Yeah.
NXT nails themes, man. Like, say what you will about CFO $, like CFO money, whatever the fuck is,
CFO
he
money.
fucking nails it, man. Like,
Dude,
I mean, I'm sure that, WWE production studios, whatever the fuck they're called, has a big hand in it as well. But man, like they crank out, and they're perfect because they're roughly about 45-second loops. Because for wrestling themes, you don't need a 2.5-minute song. You don't need a 5-minute song. You need a 45-second loop.
The only bad thing, though, is that if you listen to it on YouTube or if you listen to it on like the iHeart radio station, that 45-second, that 45-second loop does get turned into a 4.5 minute song.
Yeah.
So as much as I love Johnny Gargano's theme, after you hear it repeated about the third time, you're like, how far into we were? We're only a minute in. Jesus Christ!
Skip. But I do love it. The only wrestling theme that I can listen to the whole way through like that, like modern wrestling theme, is Tommaso Ciampa's. I can listen to "No One Will Survive" like the whole way through every single time.
I was just about to say that one is amazing. I love it,
dude. I have it and I have it in my playlist. It's good. It's good for Ciampa. I just don't understand why you think it's so damn good. Poot, come on, man. We gotta have this chat, man. You're the music guy, so I mean,
while we're on the topic of themes, do you prefer Poot as a music aficionado and professional? I'll give you credit where credit's due.
Man.
He takes money. Yeah, he takes money for both teaching people guitar, fixing people guitar, and playing guitar on stage. So I think that definitely deems him as a professional. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Whereas myself, I'm only just the aficionado. Unless people want to start paying me to come out and sing karaoke for them or something like that, I'll do that. I don't care.
Dude, we do need to to that sometime.
We do.
Anyway,
we really do. We really, really do. I'm telling you right now, it's like you haven't known me long. But I feel like it's one of those things. Like I feel like at least my friendship with you guys, it feels like I've known you guys forever already.
Right.
But this is another layer. Like you've met me and been around me, and you can kind of get a feel of how I am. You haven't been around me with karaoke. Like just wait until you get around me. And I don't even have to drink to do it. I'm doing it stone cold sober. You know what I mean?
But alcohol makes it more fun.
Well,
always does.
Debatable. But anyways, for me personally. But so in your opinion with wrestling themes, do you prefer more that 45-second loop, or do you prefer a 1.5 to 2 minutes actual song that you could actually if you played it for somebody, they wouldn't necessarily know it was a wrestling theme and it's just a good song? I'll use an example. Orton's song, Voices. I think it's in general a halfway decent song, and it's also a good theme for him. It's just it kind of works on a double front there.
Well,
I think Burning My Light was better, but go on.
Yeah.
all right. So the thing is, for me, as it stands right now, short of a couple in NXT, there's not a lot of theme songs that I go, oh man, I'm going to remember that when I'm in my, 50s, 60s, and my kids or grandkids. I'm going to be like, hey, you got to listen to grandkids, hey, you got to listen to this. This is a really good wrestling theme or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I think of songs like Shawn Michaels' theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's repetitive, but it's an entire song. I think the songs that do well with the whole 45 to a minute loop are songs like Undisputed Eras. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't imagine that being a full song, and there's that I think Aleister Black's could be that's one that I go yeah, it's 2 verses. So if you look at it as
out more.
If you look at flesh it out to a full song. Let that be.
Right.
Let that be a full song. Some of them, like Keith Lee's, again, another one that could be used to flesh out. But again, you could have you don't need that, but then whenever you have big celebrations after someone wins a huge title, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're in the ring and
goes.
it's just over and over and over.
Yeah.
And over. But Shawn Michaels, because the other thing is too, when it played his entire theme after he won the belt at WrestleMania 12, and then you heard that stop and then the song restarted, you're like, wow, this is a big deal. They're just letting that replay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think some songs do it. I just feel like they could stand to be more fleshed out, because you never hear what would be the quote unquote bridge anyway. So yeah, have the first two, the chorus, the first verse, chorus, second verse, chorus, bridge, third verse, chorus, done. The standard formula.
Yeah.
The kind of
I hear you,
A B C A.
Yeah.
I hear you, Poot, but I think I fall on the other side of this. Yes, it's awesome to have songs that are fully pretty much fleshed out songs, because when you're listening to Spotify, you can lace them in amongst the other songs, and it's like, hey man, that's a wrestling song, awesome. But at the same token, at their core, there have been some great wrestling themes that have been, swept under the rug because you only hear 30 to 45 seconds of it over and over and over again. Honestly, I think that some of the best tunes are the ones that are the classics, man. The ones that you will hum while you're driving down the road, or while you're getting a fucking shower, or while you're getting ready in the morning, Pop in Circumstance with the Macho Man, The Undertaker's the Funeral March. There's honestly not a ton of those now. So I think I probably fall somewhere in the middle, where I like the longer songs, but I don't necessarily need them to be full ass songs, because I think that in that scenario, I mean, look at Evolution. I love the song Evolution by Line in the Sand by Motorhead. But I mean, it's never really fully realized as a wrestling theme. So
I will say this. I think I honestly, and I don't think it would be anything a stretch beyond something that's doable. I think they could do both.
BRB.
Okay. Well, it's sad because he'll go back and get to listen to it anyways. But I think honestly, I think they could do both. I think you could have an abridged entrance version where you have it a 45 second to a minute clip or something like that, and then say you do have something for the celebration, have that full song, or have the song for download, have the long version or something like that. So
Metalingus. I just think Metalingus did a great job of that.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, because I never knew. Whenever I first heard that song, I heard it because it was Edge's music. I never knew it was a friggin' Alter Bridge song, and I was like, ew, Alter Bridge. But then I was like, all right, you guys get a pass because it's Edge, and that's the only reason I even got like. That's the only reason I even knew that there was any sort of correlation there, because I heard the music first on wrestling, and then I looked it up or whatever, and I was like, what? Alter Bridge? I was like, what the fuck is what? And then I was like,
Right.
nope, this is the song. So yeah, it was
Yep.
but that's another example that there's some songs that work on both levels, like that they work both as an awesome song and as a good entrance theme. Now, I think I can't remember who it was. I think I can't remember if it was you or Poot that kind of argued it with me, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say I love Jericho's music, Judas, as his entrance.
Oh, it's perfect.
I
Oh, it's
love
great.
it. I think it fits his character well. Number one, so it's life imitating art, imitating life, because
Mhm.
he's drawing from that. Well, I mean, we sit here and fondle the balls of Jericho all day long because he can just constantly reinvent himself. Which this is a perfect.
The balls of Jericho, fondle them up, baby.
Well, actually, I was gonna say this could make for a good AEW segue. I don't know if we still wanted to talk more about anything with NXT or not.
I mean, we can bounce around.
We
yeah,
can.
but,
Why not? Who says?
know-
You know what? We may. Hey, you know what? Just whenever we think we have the rules, we change the questions again on ourselves, and we
Or
change.
do we change the culture?
I was about to say, we change the culture. Beef, you fucking mind reader. No. Speaking of Jericho, my friend Jen, shout out to her. I was perusing on Facebook as we were starting here, and she says, her status update says, "Dear AEW, please give Chris Jericho and MJF the mic every week. Thank you."
Oh my god. How fucking good was that, man?
That was so good.
And the best part is that you could tell that they were both punching it up on the fly.
Yep.
And that proves that you can have great mic work volleyed between two guys who know what they're doing.
That's the key thing. You got to make sure that the guys know what they're doing and that they.
You have to trust the people that have the skills. You can't just put it in a third string quarterback and say, go out there and huck it 70 yards. You got to know who you're giving the mic to. But yeah, with the right people.
Yeah. We've mentioned it before that some people do better with a script, like a Roman Reigns. He does better with a script. I think we've mentioned it. Doesn't Becky usually does a little bit better with a script just because she didn't you say she has kind of a condition where it's like basically like her mind outruns her mouth sort of thing?
Oh, I don't know. That sounds like her, but I have no idea.
Just like okay, no, and this is no knock against you, but we always kind of rag you for it, you being the English major, but then like you kind of will.
Oh, my mind goes way quicker. My mind goes way quicker than my mouth. They run at equal speeds most of the time, but I don't get to think through a lot of the things I'm saying because I'm so excited to say them, and it's just boom, boom, boom. So
but having Jericho, the fact that shows you right there that you're moving forward, they basically need to let MJF do kind of his own thing or whatever. Like he proved he can hang on the microphone with Jericho.
Are we gonna call that Mike Spot of the Year? I mean, if not, I can't really think of a better one.
So far, in
ring promo wise, like Cody's was real good before Full Gear.
Yeah,
but other than that, I mean, it's been a pretty destitute years.
Well, they worked on two different sets of. They worked on two separate levels,
right?
For two different reasons. Like, well, you could argue the best promo. I would say the best promos in the last couple of weeks have all come out of AEW, arguably.
No, you're right.
Because you look at the Cody the video vignette that Cody did, that Jericho ended up spoofing.
The The Jericho vignette was 10 times better because it was just amazing.
Well, only because we got it. Like, I'm gonna say, like, okay, just the overall production value of the vignette that Cody and them put together for his thing for leading up to Full Gear, that was good. It was really like, it was like, I hate to say this because it makes it sound like AEW is a step below WWE, and I don't feel like that's the case. They're kind of.
I mean, they're brand new. They have not even been around a full year yet. So I mean, yeah, they're gonna be a step behind or a step below, and that's not any knock against them. That's saying that this is a 50, 60, heck, almost 70-year Titan that they're coming up against. And they're brand new.
They're hanging.
The fact that they're in the fucking ballpark tells you all you need to know about that show.
So yeah, fair point.
Production, that booking.
Yeah,
but I mean, here's what I'll say though:
their production value is something you would have expected to see in a video package put together in WWE. It was amazing. And then,
for comparison, I watched Impact tonight a little bit, and there were three kind of backstage / vignettes. The first was a guy a manager running down his tag team. They attacked another guy in the back. I had no idea what was going on. And I couldn't hear or understand the damn thing. The second was a riff on that 70s show, kind of the circle session, where there was like this superimposed, and it was badly superimposed smoke, man. And then like they and forgive me, I don't know who the characters are, but then like one of the mothers shows up and she's like this MILF character, and the one guy gets like an awkward boner and he's trying to hide it. I mean, you can't see it, but he's like pantomiming the whole thing. Yeah. And it was bad. And then like the third was an RVD promo shot by like a cell phone, like in selfie mode, like a vertical selfie mode, and like with like multiple cutaways. I love RVD.
Wait, like a ransom video?
Like a ransom video, exactly like a ransom video.
Yes.
And I love RVD and I love heel RVD, and I mean I think that works for the character that they're going with him, but I mean like you could tell that like that production is not there, that they don't have the producers, and I'm not just talking about the visual aesthetics of it and how I'm talking about how it feels, how it flows, how people talk and interact. You can tell that like production wise, not just like video production wise, but like producers on scene, directors, they don't have that kind of talent that WWE and AEW does, because let's be honest, AEW is being run by some of the greatest minds in the business right now. You got guys who get the fucking business, like the Bucks, like Kenny Omega, like Cody Rhodes. You have a mind who is probably the sharpest in the business, or was, or at least at one point, Jim Ross, for booking. You have a guy, Tony Khan seems like he fucking gets it too. So like you have this amalgamation of like just great. Oh, and then you Arn Anderson is there, right? Arn Anderson's helping them out now, right?
I think
Dean
so. Dean Malenko is still there, yeah.
Guys who have been around in this business for years and years and years, who get it.
Dare I say, I know they're using him in a valet managerial role for Sean Spears, but Tully Blanchard's there too. I'm sure he's got something to contribute.
So like, and I mean, WWE has a huge payroll of like, honest to God, people who went to like film school and art school. And people who fucking understand the film business.
Look at Full Sail. I think a lot of people that go to Full Sail, I imagine that some of those people that are just going to Full Sail in general for whatever communications and video production and this and that, I imagine some of them probably end up getting jobs in WWE. You know what I mean?
If nothing else, doing some mentor work for NXT, certainly.
And here's the thing, too. Here's another thing too. And this again, in the grand scheme of things, for as long as WWE's been around, I don't know how much they did this back in the day. I mean, you listen to other wrestlers here. I think it depended. Like somebody like a CM Punk, who when he was in and stuff like that, when he was coming up through OVW, by all accounts, like Paul Heyman will tell you and CM Punk will say it, like he was the first one in, and he'd be asking how to do this and do that, and like, you know, putting together a show and stuff like that, and kind of learning all the different little bits and pieces that help put the whole show together. You actually, like, now a lot of guys that a lot of people, I think, when they come up through NXT, it's not a matter of you're gonna only get one or two people that are that eager to go seek it out. It's like they kind of almost ingrained that in them, because you know, if something doesn't work out in NXT for somebody as a wrestler, you know, look at Dio Madden. They put him on commentary, or thank God. I mean, you know, thank God with, like, in the case of Corey Graves, you know, somebody that was, you know, probably going to be a pretty decent mid to high card talent. I feel, you know, he, you know, unfortunately couldn't continue wrestling because of concussions and, you know, for medical reasons. They gave him a shot at commentary, and he fucking kills it. And Corey's probably one of, you know, the best, I'm going to say, modern day announcers that we have. Michael Cole, I think, is very, I just want to throw that out there since I mentioned Corey Graves. I think Michael Cole is a very underrated announcer, and I don't think we're going to realize how good. I don't think we're going to realize how good he is until we don't have him.
Who's that?
Can I give you a hot take? Can I give you a hot take that I said on the show on my live stream the other day?
Michael, I was saying, hey, let me bring Poot up to speed. We were just talking about production value and how WWE does stuff, and I was saying about how, like, people coming up through NXT get better prepared and kind of get a full experience of how things run and stuff.
Oh, you're even seeing it with, like, how Shayna Baszler's holding herself.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, you know, we're lucky in the sense of, you know, in WWE, like, if something doesn't pan out for somebody as an in-ring talent in NXT, like in the case of Corey Graves, he got, you know, he wasn't able to medically, he wasn't cleared to compete anymore because of the concussions and stuff. He got a job on commentary, and I'd say he was like the best modern day commentator, one of my favorites. Now, I was saying to that regard, I feel somebody that's very underrated, that doesn't get enough appreciation, and we won't realize how good he is until he's not doing it anymore, is Michael Cole.
I think Michael Cole is right now. Michael Cole, and for his career, is as good as JR.
You know,
yes.
All right, look. Before you go off on that beef, which there is merit to your argument, I will give you that. There is merit, like, seriously. But the thing with Michael Cole, the cool thing about him is that he really has developed over the years. You know, flaws and all, warts and all, as they say, Michael Cole has really become consistently good. Is he ever amazingly fantastic? In my opinion, no. But he is consistently entertaining, informed, and you very rarely hear him fuck up. Like, right. Seriously, if you think about it, like, Michael Cole is the one that we can go like, oh, he never really screws up. And he's
and here's the thing.
The other thing is he's professional.
Very.
It's easy to hit. So if and I'm just Captain Sports analogy, I guess, but like it's easy to hit baseballs if you're not trying to swing out of the park. Michael Cole, here's why he's so damn consistent.
He's hitting doubles and triples all day long.
Yeah, because he doesn't try to be the guy that's going out there and getting, you know,
he's
notoriety.
Not trying to be Mauro Ranallo.
Exactly. He's not trying to get a phrase chanted by fans. He's not trying to get he's not trying to have a phrase that's going to be duplicated on shows from now until ad infinitum. Are you going to hear "by God" or "he killed him, damn it" or Austin? You're going to hear that until
that man's got a family.
Wrestling is dead. You're going to hear those phrases, but in my estimation, if we're talking quality, I have a hard time putting JR above Michael Cole, and here's why. Michael Cole has been consistently good, and he has grown and gotten better. JR, I think, probably is a little bit transplanted. I think his heart is in football, and I think and I'm not saying that he's not great in wrestling, because he has a great legacy, but I think that he has always kind of come at it with the emotion of a sportscaster, which is great sometimes, but is also can also be a downfall. And like, because you can tell when JR is pissed off. JR is a ball of emotion. So like when JR is pissed off on commentary, or when he's like been called out,
or cranky,
or cranky, you can hear it in his voice, in his tone, and in what he's saying. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't give a fuck. Whenever he was drafted to SmackDown, it immediately became the JR let me cry into my fucking hanky show. Like, whenever Switchblade Jay White knocked him down, it immediately became JR let me cry into my millions of dollars show. Like, whenever people online now are calling him out for not being the greatest, and he has a flub or 8 on a major pay-per-view, it immediately becomes JR crying into his fucking biscuits. So, I don't know, man. Like, for me...
You mean to tell me... I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you mean to tell me that you are surprised, you're surprised by the fact that an old man who used to be the greatest, arguably the greatest...
Never.
Okay, Bluster Magoo. He roundly considered by everyone else except for you the greatest of all time. Okay? You're meaning to tell me that you're surprised that an old man who's past his prime is upset when someone criticizes him? That never happens in any sport ever.
He always has been, though. Here's the thing with JR. If you pull the Crane game and you take out Steve Austin, I think that JR at best is a mediocre announcer, and his career and his legacy at best is mediocre. Without Steve Austin, like I'm not going to call him a leech, but he's kind of like it's kind of a symbiotic relationship with him and Austin, because without the rise of Steve Austin, I don't think JR gets the fucking cocksucking by everybody in the world that he does. At the end of the day, yes, he has had some of the greatest calls in history. By God, he killed him. That man has a family. He swear to God, he's broken in half. I swear to God. And again, Austin. We know them. He has had some of those banner calls, but just because you're on every clip show from now until the end of the world doesn't make you the greatest. It means that you had a couple seconds of really great stuff that's very memorable. Santino Marella, he's on a lot of clip shows. Are you going to call him the greatest of all time?
All right.
That's apples and oranges, though.
It is. You're not wrong. But, so, I mean,
just to kind of bring Poot a little bit more up to speed, we kind of got off on this tangent. We were talking. We somehow started with the promos, and then I said something about how my friend Jen put a Facebook update where she said, "Dear AEW, please let Chris Jericho and MJF be on the mic every week. Thank you." And I was like, yes. And we were talking about how good their promos were, and how really probably the best promos and vignettes of the past couple of weeks have all come from AEW. With Cody's vignette, the production value that it was leading up to Full Gear, and then Jericho spoofing that was amazing. And then Cody's actual promo in the ring, when he his promo directed to Jericho specifically, and when he got emotional, like those that of the last couple of weeks of wrestling, that those stick out of my mind the best as far as any promos and stuff.
Speaking of promos, it has been thinking about who really does great promo work in NXT. and who we haven't seen in like a month, and that's Velveteen Dream.
Thank you. I was actually just
Where
saying
the
that.
fuck has he
He's
been?
injured. He's injured.
Is he?
Yes,
Is
he's
he?
injured.
Son of a bitch.
Yes, he has a fairly serious injury that's going to keep him out for a little bit. That's why they took the belt off him and put it on Roddy, and it just seemed to fall into place to fulfill the.
Because I bet I'm kind of thinking that he's going to be the fourth guy at War Games.
No, Johnny Gargano, I think.
No, Gargano's out with a neck injury, man.
Is he?
If he
on Up Rocks here, it says Velveteen Dream has a real injury.
Put your roboting.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Am I
okay,
back?
now you're better.
Am I better? Okay,
You're better.
well,
Yeah.
it's only on your guys' end, so don't worry about the recording. Suck my dick. Anyway, the Undisputed Era attack was crafted as a way to write him off TV while he can recover. It doesn't say what his injury is. No, lumbar pain.
Who? For Gargano?
For Dream.
No, Dream.
For Dream.
Yeah,
Because
he's suffering from lumbar
with
pain.
Gargano, they were like angling for Balor versus Gargano at War Games, and I don't know if Johnny took a nasty bump or whatever the case may be, but that's why they had to take Riddle out of the War Games match and like suddenly kind of push this thing together with Balor, which is fine by me, by the way.
You know, Johnny, like, I worry with him because he's injured a lot. Like, he gets it now he wrestles a really aggressive style, but
and he's small.
He's like Jim it's like Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's just more the fact that I'm like, man, he's had a lot of injuries, and they've put a lot into him. Like,
not really. Ciampa's the one that's had a lot of injuries, man. Ciampa's had, I think, 3 major injuries in the last 4 years. Gargano, outside of this, like, I can't picture him missing a lot of time for anything. He's kind of been the workhorse of NXT for the last 3 years.
He's had knee stuff.
Has he? Because, like I said, when I think of NXT the last, like, 3 years, I think of Johnny Gargano, man. Like, pretty much since...
I was going to say, hence the Johnny Takeover nickname, because he's been in the most...
Like every single one,
maybe
man. So that's what I'm saying.
Maybe I'm just misremembering. That could very well be the case as well.
Yeah, I think it's the Mandela effect because Ciampa's been out and has had such like shitty timing on his injuries that it has affected Gargano. It has affected Gargano. So I mean.
So Gargano's out with an injury. Dream is out with an injury. And I actually just mentioned that whenever I was doing my playthrough tonight because the chapter was focusing on your people getting into NXT and the guy having a feud with Velveteen Dream. And I was like, I even said during the game, I was like, where the hell is Velveteen Dream anyways? I was like, for those of you that actually watch NXT, I was like, and if you're watching my stream, I assume you watch wrestling because why the hell else would you be watching the stream? But anyways, like, I was like, where the hell is Velveteen Dream?
Kushita's hurt too.
Yeah, yeah. How did he? It was a wrist. He broke his wrist or something.
I don't know if he broke it, but yeah, it was. I think it was in a match with Walter. He got hurt, which is sad.
Yeah,
because it was a decent match, but
that was a fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
Joe. Well, and then Samoa Joe's out with it. I know that's not NXT, but
Joe's back.
Well,
he was on commentary, but
he's on commentary. He's got a cast on.
Yeah, he's out for the foreseeable.
I could listen to that man read the phone book, by the way.
Right.
Well, we started to touch on it, so let me ask you guys, who do you think is going to be the fourth man on the NXT War Games for Team Ciampa?
Who right now it's what
Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Dominik Dijakovic. Matt Riddle got pulled out for the match against Balor, so now we got to fill Matt Riddle's spot.
And it's got to be Dream, man. Like Dream has the history with the Undisputed Era. I mean, it's got to be Dream.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna pull up NXT's roster and see like who aren't we thinking of? You know,
Dream makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to. This seems a little weird. But again, we're not thinking about alumni, and they've had a lot of alumni coming back. What if, because he hasn't really been doing much, except for looking for a fight to be picked, what if it's Aleister Black?
I was thinking the same thing, man. They're running this whole NXT like invasion angle, which was popularized by the NWO.
Yeah.
And the NWO did a lot of things wrong, but what they did was they ever so often they would pull somebody from the WCW roster that made you go, "Oh my gosh, I can't." I think that Black would be another one. Would be one of those guys. You know who else would be a wonderful pick, which they would never do, would be Kevin Owens. But they wouldn't do it
what about
the night
Zayn?
before
What about
Survivor
Sami
Series.
Zayn?
Zayn would be a good one.
Zayn would be a good one. So I'm gonna run down some names of the NXT.
McIntyre walked out of the match with Owens on Monday night, and he walked through the NXT roster. McIntyre would be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, but we got to think of who's a face. Owens is a face, yes.
That's
People
fair.
would pop huge for McIntyre, though.
They would, but it in the scheme of heel versus face.
The other thing you have to think about. The other thing you have to think about is it's very realistic, especially since now we know that Adam Cole is defending his title at Survivor Series. It's very realistic that the face team in War Games could be the team NXT on Survivor Series as well. So, except for I guess they have a 5-man team, so never mind.
I'm surprised that Jordan Miles is still listed up as being on the NXT roster, but that's something altogether.
That's a bunch of ugly woos.
I'm looking through. I'm kind of scrolling through the roster here, and I'm not. I don't see.
No one jumps off the page, right?
No, nobody's jumping off the Okay, well, there's a lot of people on here who haven't been on TV for a while. The last time I saw Riddick Moss on TV was whenever I said, "Hey, he has the Hypervolt tool. We use that at work," and then he was gone again because he apparently.
Oh yeah, there's no chance they do. The one thing I could see is they could bring in somebody from UK.
Oh
like
yeah,
Tyler Bate.
Actually, that was going to be my next. That was going to be my next suggestion. Was probably Tyler Bate or somebody from UK. So you know what? I feel pretty solid with that because that could work. I was going to say maybe Pete Dunne, but then Pete Dunne's in that
number one contenders match.
Yeah, so Tyler Bate's a good suggestion. Either way,
don't sleep on the young guys either. Well, the new guys. What the fuck is his name? I can never remember his name. Trevor Lee. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah, Cameron Grimes.
Grimes or Swerve could be there. Bronson Reed. We have not seen Joaquin Wilde in a hot minute. Yeah, definitely.
You know what? I'm glad to see that they have him listed as being on the NXT roster, even though the only time we saw him was in the breakout tournament. But Dexter Loomis.
Where the hell has he been?
I want to see some of him.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're
like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Brah.
Yeah, bruh.
So, do you think we find out tomorrow
who the fourth man is? Absolutely.
Right. You think so, or do you think they save that for Survivor or for War Games? Okay.
No. I think they'll reveal it tomorrow because whoever it is, I feel like whoever it is, they're gonna get a good pop, and I think it'll be Tyler Bate. Honestly, I really.
So to our wonderful listening audience, you'll be able to know how big of morons we are whenever we completely miss it and you hear the show on Thursday or Friday, and you're like, oh man, how did they not think of X, Y, or Z?
Yeah. I'm looking
that's how these roster things always go.
Let's be honest. Is Tino Sabatelli going to come back? No.
God bless him. He tried.
Is he still with Mandy Rose?
Oh, is he? Oh,
probably.
He was.
Think so. Easy Poot.
Damn it.
Yeah, he gets. Oh.
I mean, Shane Thorne is a heel.
Shane Thorne is awesome. They have not been doing justice, and that's a whole nother conversation.
One-E Lorcan.
Old One-E Lorcan.
Oh, One-E.
He's talking about wanting his release, so they're probably not going to. They're probably going to start to bury him. Raul Mendoza, no fucking clue who he is.
So much for the Brit Bruisers. I'm so sad.
I forgot about the Crown Jewels hidden secret, Mansoor.
Oh, fucking Majin Mansoor. No, thank you.
Man, God, again, that's another guy I feel bad for because he does have talent, and he's just kind of getting.
He's so bland. He's so vanilla, and it's so sad because you're right. He does have talent, but man, the minute he came out and he had the Majin Buu logo on his trunks, I'm like, this guy's doomed. I can't see anything but Majin because I can't see anything but Majin Buu now. It's like, well, he's wearing big dumb baggy pants with a Majin Buu symbol. He's immediately Majin Mansoor. So
what?
Oh, Cesaro would be a good pick as well. By the way,
no, Cesaro's on SmackDown.
Yeah, but is he on is he on Team SmackDown?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like
no, he's not. No, Team SmackDown is. Oh man, we'll have to get into that with picks. Oh, that's gonna be a.
Oh god,
Reigns, Corbin,
tonight, don't we?
Reigns, Corbin, Shorty G, Mustafa Ali, who they're calling Mustafa Ali again, and then who's the fifth man?
I'm trying to remember. Fucking Strowman.
Oh yeah, right. Strowman.
I'm really glad they call him Mustafa Ali again.
Right, me too.
Like just Ali. I'm like, come on, man. That fucking. That's why we can't have nice things, WWE.
So let's if we can, because we haven't had a chance to talk about Full Gear as a group. I'd like to talk about it because honestly, in my opinion, I think that it is up there with TakeOver New York WrestleMania weekend.
AEW
and
sucks, WWE's better. Internet, woohoo.
And I think it was up there with TakeOver Cardiff. I will say that Full Gear was one of the top 3 shows of the year, if not the show of the year, tied with those 2.
I'm gonna say in regards, since you mentioned TakeOver Cardiff, I just have to throw this out there, and I've said it, and I still haven't had time to do it. I really got to go catch up on NXT UK because do you realize that we have since Cardiff we have new tag team champions in the UK.
Oh, did Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews lose them? They
did. And guess who the current NXT UK tag team champions are?
Better be fucking Gallus.
It is Gallus.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
And then Walter and Kaylee Ray are still strong with that.
I was gonna say, I like the fact they don't hot potato those belts.
Right? They mean something.
Yeah.
Especially same with NXT for the most part. Oh yeah, and I mean, like I said, same for NXT for the most part. Like when a title change happens with NXT, it feels like a big deal. Like the only titles that really kind of get hot potato is the tag team titles because the main roster is always swallowing up tag teams. Like as soon as a tag team in NXT wins the belts, the main roster is like, yoink.
We want them.
Yeah.
And then they don't do dick all with them.
Exactly. Oh god. Oh god. So anyway, Full Gear I thought was top to bottom an incredible show. What did you guys think? Do you guys agree? Do you guys have like a match of the night? What do you think? Talk to me, gents.
Poot?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Is the answer.
He would.
Dude, so, like, watching it, there wasn't anything on the card I didn't enjoy. Like, I mean, because we're 2 weeks removed from it, to be perfectly honest with you, I just remember sitting and watching it and being like, holy shit, this is consistently good. Like, everything is just fun and good. The heel turn for MJF was a long time coming, and it was done really, really well. And by the way, the beer that was thrown on him was not beer; it was water, and it was also plant. It was a local wrestler.
Was it?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's unfortunate.
See,
sorry to burst your bubble.
Because I heard this stories from him whenever he was on Jericho's podcast before, where he said he's like I've been in venues. He's like where somebody threw piss on me because they hate me that much.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you're doing something right.
You're doing a good job. Exactly.
This is why I believe MJF is set to be a roundly considered Hall of Famer. I believe that not character-wise, but attitude-wise, how he lives that gimmick in everything. Interviews, on the shows, interacting with fans. He lives that gimmick. And it has that modern-day Ric Flair feel, that commitment to the gimmick. You know what I mean? Not
Make you really wonder...
What?
Sorry, go ahead, Poot. I was gonna say, make you really wonder what business they had trotting him out as like part of Team Cody, other I guess than to set this up. But I mean,
well, it's setting
me,
it up
I
and then
don't think you need that.
Setting him up, faffing around with Wardlow, like
That's
come
cool.
on.
I'm into that. I'm real into that.
My point was, like, that was great, but honestly, let's not pull punches or try and dance around it here. The keynote thing of the night was the blackout match.
Oh, so fucking good.
Okay, so we know Beef's stance on it. Tom, where's your stance on this?
On the whole pay-per-view?
Well, you can give me the whole pay-per-view, but the really big thing I think we should discuss is the blackout match.
Okay, well, before I get to the blackout match, the pay-per-view on whole was really good. I really enjoyed it all. The only thing, and just because I didn't get a chance, I didn't have time. I feel bad. I didn't watch the buy-in, so I didn't catch Britt Baker's match. But I do plan on going back at some point and watching it.
Super good. It was probably as good as women's title match, honestly.
Honestly, the only thing I didn't enjoy, and I know Beef is probably going to kill me for this, but I really could have cared less for the Riho Sakura match. It's not even so much about the in-ring work. I've said it before. The one thing that NXT, not so much WWE, Raw, and SmackDown, but I will say NXT definitely has on AEW is the women's roster. The women's in-ring work in AEW sometimes is a little choppy and a little off cue, or I don't know. It's like sometimes like somebody's like telegraphing a spot like way too soon, or something seems like they're just off a step sometimes. Still overall not bad matches, but more so the thing with Sakura and Riho, there was no, like, I wasn't emotionally invested. I'm like, why should I care? Give me a reason to care. Cody, Jericho, yeah, I had a reason to care. Everything else, there was a reason. There was something for me to sink my teeth into. With this, it was just okay.
Well, why should we care whenever your lead announcer can't even get her first name right?
Even that's a whole nother thing. But it just more so there wasn't. It was just like it felt like this match was just thrown together. It's like, oh, let's give Riho opponent. Oh, let's make it Sakura because we can make it student versus teacher. You could have built that angle up. You could have gotten so much more out of it. And if you would have had Sakura being like a good heel, when I see Sakura in the ring, I don't care if she's a legend in Japan. I'm not going to take away anything she's done in Japan, but like right now when I'm watching her, if she's supposed to be the quote unquote heel, like why is she stomping around doing the, we will rock you clap and dressing like Freddie Mercury? I understand the whole tweener thing.
No, it's a stardom thing, dude. It's a Japanese thing. Like,
okay, then maybe I don't get it because I haven't watched enough of that. So
no, Tom, you're right. There's zero reason to be excited about Emi Sakura. This is very clearly just Kenny Omega's love letter to Joshi Wrestling. But I mean, like
I said, some things like I just feel like it was a missed opportunity. You could have built up a good student versus teacher angle. Like we've seen that. How many times have we seen that in other movies and stuff? Look at Star Wars.
Or have her given have a better opponent like B. Priestley, like Britt Baker, like
Baby
Allie.
Yoda.
Like
Baby Yoda.
Okay, well, topical.
No, but you know what I mean. Like they could have gotten more out of it, and obviously, like when Riho drops the title, it's gonna be to like a big shit-eating heel, like an Awesome Kong, and then that's when Britt Baker is going to pick it up off of that said heel. You know, like I don't know. It just felt like it felt rushed and just thrown in there. That's the only thing I didn't like about the pay-per-view. As far as the lights out match, the only thing that I didn't really like was some of the ring psychology of things, like that the whole barbed wire spider web of death there that they pulled out from the back. I feel like that should have been the end spot. That me personally, like, listening to some other people talk about it and stuff like that. You know, like listen to Bully Ray and them talking about it.
Or Jim Cornette, motherfucker.
No, not Jim Cornette. Fuck him. No,
these
honestly,
two fucking guys, they couldn't even throw a fucking suplex without getting bloody. I tell you what, these motherfuckers.
Mother, I'll kill you. Smoky Mountain Wrestling's the best, and NWA Power is the greatest of all time. Anyways, no, it was one of those things like Bully Ray put it best on Busted Open. He said some of the stuff that they did was gratuitous violence just for gratuitous violence sake. There was no psychology behind it. So in that case, I agree with him. Like the mouse traps, like
I love that spot.
I liked it, but it was like
Let Tom talk.
They pulled the mouse traps out and then they were used so quickly. Like you could have let them sit around for a little bit. Like if I'm trying to remember who he uses as an example. Like you could have somebody pull out a table and not use it the entire fucking match because like it's just like you're waiting for it. You're waiting for it. Like you had the mouse traps come out and boom, spot gone.
It's the storytelling gimmick of the gun on the table.
Yeah.
Like it's just there.
It's there and you're just waiting. Like you to the point where you almost forget about it. Like I like stuff like that where they pull, because it's happened to me at times. I'll see a ladder match or a table match or whatever, and they pull something. They pull a ladder out, doesn't get used for a while, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this big spot that comes up. Oh shit! That's right. That ladder was there. Like, oh fuck, you know. But just the psychology of the match, and in general, for AEW, some of the ring psychology is a little off at times, but that'll come with time. I hope. I don't know.
Well, so here's what I'll say, and Poot, I know you're chomping at the bit to get at me, so I'll make this a little bit short and sweet. AEW right now is riding the Moxley as the hardcore guy. They're riding as Moxley as the deathmatch aficionado.
Yeah.
If you know anything about death matches, if you've seen any death matches, you know that psychology is not the fucking window. There's not a lot of like, hey, let's hurry up and wait. They don't introduce the light box cabin and then let us sit there for 5 minutes. No, they introduce the light box cabin, boom, somebody's going through it. They introduce the C4 explosive barbed wire board. Somebody's going through it right away. Like there's. I understand what you're saying. Like that there should be like a build up and then there should be a payoff. But with death matches, it comes at you very fast and furious. It's always the thing with death matches is they have to definitely build to a crescendo, and I think this match did to a point. I would have reversed the barbed wire spider web, as you've called it, and the light spot. I would have done the light spot before the barbed wire menagerie, and then taken the match back into the ring, because otherwise I think they did a good job. You take your mundane stuff, and then you introduce the barbed wire stuff, and then you introduce the weird stuff like the mouse traps, and then you introduce the glass, and you're like, oh shit, somebody's going to get hurt. And then you introduce the screwdriver, like, oh fuck, somebody's going to get hurt. And then you do the barbed wire, like the barbed wire spider web, and then you finish the match. Like there is a logical booking, and there is a psychology to death matches, but it's not the same psychology that you get in a TLC match, because a death match is not a TLC match. They did not brand this a death match, to be clear, but it was very clearly a death match, because the Moxley versus Janela match was not a death match. That was more of just a regular, lights out extreme match. But this was I would signify it. Anytime I see broken glass, a screwdriver, and like actual honest to God barbed wire being used to like open people up, it's a death match. So and I mean to me now again, I recognize that I am not your casual fan because I did watch the old Cactus Jack deathmatch tapes. Because I have watched my fair share of CZW every now and again because I have watched and loved ECW. So like that shit is entertaining as fuck to me. If you make an argument to say that, hey, they probably went a little bit too far, I'd say, okay, agreed. That screwdriver and the glass spot was probably a little bit too far. But I mean, for me, and I think that there's a segment of the population out there like me who really does enjoy it. So that's just my 6.5 cents.
The only thing I wanted to say to touch one more thing on the psychology is, like I said, certain things certain things make sense better than others, and they're definitely, regardless of the type of match, there is a certain psychology. I mean, every match is different, but things need to make sense. Like, it made sense when they introduced the barbed wire wrapped, baseball bats and the brooms, because they had been using those like weeks before. So it made sense to have that. The mouse traps didn't necessarily make sense. It was just there.
That's what I'm saying, Tom.
Yeah,
is that
I know.
You cannot,
I know. Right.
You can't bring conventional ring psychology in on this because it's a different. The death match is a different animal, man.
Right.
Like,
I get it. I get that. I get that that's different, and I would venture to say that overall, depending on the type of death match or whatever, or how hardcore it was, I probably wouldn't necessarily be a fan of the death matches, because I like there to be some sort of build and payoff. Like I said, for me personally, the one thing I would have changed, I agree with you with the light spot and the barbed wire spider web. I would have definitely had the light happen before that. But I honestly think, for me personally, I think getting suplexed into a spider web of barbed wire, that should be it. Game over. Like,
yeah, but it's not false count anywhere though. So like, what do? You just like
did they not say that it was false count anywhere? Did they say that it was just an unsanctioned match?
It's just an unsanctioned match, so the fall still had to happen in the ring.
Did it?
Like,
okay.
You can't,
okay.
So like, maybe you can't finish the match there. So
all right. So there you go. Okay, so it does make sense, I guess, then, that yes, there was still something that happened after the barbed wire spider web. So okay, in that sense, now it makes sense to me. I didn't realize. I thought it was a falls count anywhere for some reason. I may have just, I don't know, just so used to having matches like that being a falls count anywhere. I don't know, whatever. Call it what you will. Had it been a falls count anywhere match, that definitely would have been and should have been the last spot. Okay, so we can come to an agreement on that. Yes. But again, so in this case, with this match's particular psychology, there were things that could have been changed or whatever. Overall, I enjoyed the match. A few things I would have changed, but like I said, at that point, it's almost nitpicking just for nitpicking's sake. Like, just because we can't sit here and be like, yeah, everything is awesome and everything is perfect, because not everything is perfect. Like, there are things that get screwed up. Like, there are mistakes that happen. Look at Jurassic Express and Dark Order with Marco Stunt botching his little spot on the rope there. Yeah. AEW is awesome and they're doing a great job, but no, not everything is perfect. And there are things
you can't gloss over everything.
No, you can't. Exactly. It would be unfair to, because as much as we sit here, and suckle the teat of AEW and then had shat all over Vince McMahon for so long, I'll give credit where credit's due, and I will be critical where things need to be critical, regardless of what company or what show it is,
Poot, you've been never so patient. Please.
Yes, you have. Please enlighten us while I start to type up this fucking predictions roster here.
That's what separates the champions from the chaff, buddy. Patience. That's what it's all about. Anyway, so my thing with this is, Was it too far? No. And I'll tell you why. Was I sports entertained by this? Wildly. I was very sports entertained. My problem is, and I can't believe this is coming out of my mouth because I always hated this with hardcore matches or something. Moxley comes out. He looks like at any given moment he's ready to eat a light bulb. Like, I mean, like he's just like literally eat one. Like he's just like for kicks, you know? So like he looks like he can go into a regular wrestling match and just maul someone. Or
Dude, I have to stop you for a minute. Like now every time I see Moxley and like I'm gonna freeze frame it and I'm gonna see his name under his picture and it's gonna say ready to eat a light bulb at any time. Okay. Go on.
Well, but then whenever he comes out for a hardcore match like this, he looks like he's in his element. That's why Moxley fits this stuff. Omega, he could have done something to maybe change his attire, show that he's ready to get gritty. Like, I didn't want video game Kenny Omega. I wanted Kenny Omega the man. I wanted Kenny Omega to prove that he's like, you know what? No bullshit. I'm coming out here. I'm going to show you any match, any stipulation, any style. I'm the best. And I wanted him more no nonsense. I love Kenny Omega. I love his ring presence. I love his work rate. I love the presentation. I love the fact he came out as Sans for Halloween. That, man, I had the biggest nerdgasm in the world. Like, I love it. But in this scenario, like all the Terminator stuff, the like his facials, like are so over exaggerated. He was like a cartoon character compared to Moxley. You know what I mean? So Moxley felt believable because he knows how to work that style. He did it for so long in CZW that he feels believable in everything he does. You want to talk about psychology, dude? They were using like shoot barbed wire in there, and you saw them bleeding. However, the stuff that wasn't like quote unquote that was gimmicked, I wasn't like Moxley could when he was using it could sell it. Like when he was the one on the attack using a gimmicked item that was, that's one thing because he knows how to make it look painful and make it look real and make it look like whatever. The problem is Omega doesn't. And my glaring things, actually, I thought about this when I was watching the match, and then I did the mistake of listening to Jim Cornette and that little yippy dog that he has on the podcast with him. Listen to their take. The two things that they talked about were the two things that I thought about. Number one, early on in the match, they were using non-gimmicked things. They were using the barbed wire. Even those mouse traps were real. Like, they were going ham. And that
Are you saying that the glass that the glass was gimmicked?
Okay, Beef, stick with me. The glass, it's sugar. It's sugar.
Sorry, I just wanted to say real quick that the barbed wire sometimes, gimmicked or not, sometimes the gimmick barbed wire can actually cut you a little bit worse than the real barbed wire.
Well,
believe it or not.
I know, and the glass, it's sugar glass, and the problem was that it wasn't taken care of prior to them dumping it out, so it was just big broken sheets of it. It was powdered up, and you're like, oh, okay, that's sugar glass. Which, of course,
but here's the thing: he took the hunk of it to, I think it was Omega taking it to Moxley's head, and like you could say that he was like lacerated from it. Will
Beef,
sugar glass do that to you?
Beef, you can cut yourself with a piece of paper, but I ain't gonna cut that deep. You really got to try hard. That's
fair.
Like that's
fair.
my point. Topical, really topical flesh. Any head wound bleeds forever. Even a little one. Now, and I'm not saying that doesn't suck the bag, and they weren't working hard. But like the other thing is too, the barbed wire spiderweb thing, trampoline, whatever, what have you. There is no way that barbed wire was not gimmicked because they landed in the thing, sold it like $1 million. Both of them. I thought Omega ruined his knee, by the way, because he slammed it off of the frame.
Ooh,
oh, God.
I didn't notice that. I'll have to look.
Oh, it was disgusting. I immediately was like, oh, God, Omega's going to be out. Like, because like he hit like the back of his knee right on the frame. I'm like, that popped his knee out. He's done for a while. But they landed in it. They sold it well. But then when they rolled out of there, weren't bleeding any worse than they were before. Like, if you're going to do a spot like that, and I know this makes me sound like an insane, blood-hungry maniac a la Ransom, but make it real, or at least have half of it be real, so you're bleeding a little bit more. Just be careful when you're getting out of it. Like, if you're going to commit to that and you're going to do that and have it be part of the show, fucking do it. Now, the thing that I thought was one of the ugliest things to watch in that match, you know what it was? Omega's off the top rope onto the wood.
Oh, yeah.
That was
ugly. That was a rough spot.
Dude, you can't take that. No matter how well you know how to land and fall and whatever, dude, that's not a fun bump. I was just, oh my God, he hit it like, ugh, that made me cringe. And also
they know how to land.
the ice pick screwdriver thing.
I didn't like that.
Dude, that was, no, see, the thing is, okay, they did the drama of actually stabbing it. Okay, this thing's real. But whenever he took it to, what was it? He took it to Omega's head, or was it the other way around?
Mm-hmm.
He took it to,
no, Omega. Oh, Omega took it to his head.
Yeah, he took it to his head. He wasn't bleeding any worse. Like that.
Nope.
What was the point? Like it.
Yep.
Like that. That's the kind of psychology in a death match. If you're gonna do it, do it. Like, and that's not taking anything away from these guys or what they did. Like, I loved it. I want to watch it again. Taking that bump on those mouse traps had to have been like really awful. But my point is, have you ever gotten any part of your body in a mouse trap, Beef?
No, I'm saying, yeah, that was an ugly spot, and that's like those, that's the shit that these fucking deathmatch magicians come up with that are like, you sick fuck, like that's like just weird like things like that, like fucking Legos. I've seen people in death matches use Legos,
dude,
like pull out like cool. A bag, and bump on a bag of Legos, and it's like, oh my God, like it's just it's weird things like that, man. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. But I mean, it was.
No, but my point was, I enjoyed it. I didn't think it went too far. I just think that Omega should have gone into it with a different mentality, because
I agree.
There was a lot of stuff where you saw Omega's weaknesses of how to handle that scenario, because you could tell that he's still new to that style.
That is a wonderfully salient point, my friend. And I think the problem also is that the main event of the show, which was Cody and Jericho, I think was kind of overshadowed by this a little bit, which is sad because it was a really good match. I'm always a sucker for a throwing in the towel thing, because it's a nice cheap way out of a clean finish. Cody took, I think what really took some air out of the lights out match was that bump that fucking Cody took. Man, Cody has to stop like destroying his body for this company. And I love AEW and I love Cody, but man, dude, like you gotta stop like lacerating yourself and taking dumb bumps, because like the company's gonna need you down the line for sure.
Well, that kind of brings up an interesting point. Do you think at some point they're going to kind of renege on their words, saying that Cody will at some point challenge for the AEW World title? Or do you think it's one of those things where it's like, okay, Cody's such a big entity, like he's above the title? Or
Cody,
do you think...
Oh, sorry, Tom. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, or do you think that that was more so Cody's call, where he was just like, hey, listen, like, I want to put the focus on the guys. Like, maybe I'll win a tag title. Maybe I'll win a mid card title when we introduce it. But, like, what do you think is the case with that?
To borrow a phrase from Beef, I got a hot take on this.
Okay.
So the reason that they had that stipulation and the reason they said, okay, he can never challenge for that belt again, but you know what he can do? It can be vacated and he can just assume the sumbitch.
Oh.
Heel turn for Cody. Like, it's basically just it leaves a big open. How do we turn Cody heel? Everybody loves him. Everybody says that. You know what? Turn him into the shit-eating, hey, I'm a vice president. The title's vacated, whatever. It's stripped from someone. Oh, look who it was given to. Me. Ha. And people will be like, well, you can't have that belt. I didn't challenge for it. It was just given to the person who they believe in. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying, and it kind of falls in line with what I'm thinking, but not really. So Cody, I think it really feels like Cody kind of sat at the foot of the master here a little bit, and I'm not talking about Dusty. I'm talking about Triple H. It feels like a lot of Triple H rubbed off on Cody on how to book, like how to work a match, how to make yourself bigger than life. When I look at Cody Rhodes, I see a young Triple H. And that is fucking high praise from Caesar, man. Because Triple H, I think, is, in my mind, top 5. He's super smart, and I think when it goes down, we're gonna look at his influence as a wrestler and as a booker and a runner of companies, and we're gonna say this guy was the greatest of all time, if not at least in that conversation. But that notwithstanding, I think that Cody also sees that Triple H got a lot of backlash because while there was a time where he was probably the best wrestler in WWE at the time, I guess, he wasn't regarded as such because he was always Vince's son-in-law. And I bring up the Booker T match at WrestleMania 19, where everybody thought that he should have put Booker over.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And, like, it felt a lot like Triple H said, you know what? Let me run with the title. Give me this title run. Whether or not he did, whether or not he had any backstage influence at the time, we'll never know. But it sure as hell felt like it was a Triple H show for about 4 to 5 years there on Raw. So I think that Cody has seen that firsthand, and he wants to avoid that same thing. He doesn't want to be the guy who wins the belt and people go, well, you know, what's the big deal? He booked himself to win it. I think he wants to become bigger than the belt. And I'm not saying he doesn't win it somewhere down the line. And Poot, you make a wonderful point about him gifting it to himself. That's a perfect way out of it. They may bring it back and to say that, you know, Cody never gave up. He never was pinned. There are loopholes here.
That's a good way out of it.
There are, you know, Cody never lost. MJF threw in the towel. There are a lot of loopholes here, and that's smart booking. But like I said, I don't see Kenny, and it's the same reason that I think that the Bucks aren't in the title picture, because they don't want to be the guys who are like, well, of course they're the champions, they run the company, you know. So will they be tag team champions at some point? You're damn right. Will Cody win that belt at some point? Probably. If not, either way, that's fine, because I think that both the Bucks and Cody are better for AEW without the titles, or they're fine with them. Either way. But I mean, you know, like I said, I just feel like he's seen that road of hoe before, and he's probably trying to avoid it.
That's a good point. I will say, in the vein of things, you know, we've talked about psychology making sense, and, you know, and the bookings and stuff like that. I got to say this again, and I've been saying it for probably the last month now. the one piece of booking and nothing that makes absolutely no fucking sense to me. Goddamn Rusev and Bobby Lashley.
Oh.
And are we actually going to get a fucking payoff match here at Survivor Series?
So
I'm not seeing one listed, but
so apparently the plan, like, this was leaked. Apparently the plan was to just have Lana and Rusev get back together eventually. It's like, oh, they're back together. Now what?
yeah, exactly. Nothing makes sense either way.
I think that they should definitely NWO this thing. Like, have fucking Paul Heyman come out and be like, you know what? This is fucking stupid, and we're not doing it anymore. The end. Rusev loves Lana, and, like, fucking the end. Like,
Also,
I just
say fuck kayfabe altogether.
yeah, I mean, Vince did it with the NWO. He came out with the NWO music. He said, "That's the last time you're gonna hear the NWO music," and like that's the last you're gonna hear of the NWO. And
that was around the time that I wasn't watching or whatever, because I think I was. Wait, when did the reiteration of NWO happen in WWE?
oh,
that like
0304, I think.
What's that?
Yeah.
I think it was like 0304.
Was it really?
Mhm.
Was it maybe 05?
And so
04,
basically
05?
what happened was the Hall was in rehab, so he was no damn good. Hogan turned face, so then it was down to Nash. So they brought in HBK. They brought in Booker T. Goldust was kind of like an associate member.
Right.
And they brought in the Big Show.
Yeah, I remember we had this hot tag trivia question. I just wasn't sure of the timeline because it was
Well,
the last.
what happened was
the last thing that I really got to watch was graduating year for myself in 03. So I saw that WrestleMania in 03, which I think that was the Brock Lesnar failed shooting star press, if I'm not mistaken.
that would have been 19. So that would have been after.
I graduated class of 2003, so
Because the NWO came back before WrestleMania 8, because WrestleMania 18, because WrestleMania 18 was Hogan versus The Rock, and that's like, you know, the fucking biggest match in WrestleMania history. And then WrestleMania 19 was when Brock botched the shooting star press. So that was after that.
was it? Okay, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, I missed the little second coming of the NWO or whatever. So
Bottom line is, yeah, Vince just came out and said, we're done with it. And it was over. And I think that they should take the same approach here. They just say, you know what? We fucked up. It's a dumb angle. And they should just end it mercifully, quietly, and let it be done.
But they won't.
I think, like, this, like, apparently Lana is the person who's the least comfortable with all this.
Which is surprising to me because I figured it would have been Rusev of all people.
Dude, I'm telling you. Well, I mean, Rusev's not up there making out with Bobby Lashley, you know, like.
No, but watching your wife do that, would you be comfortable with watching Brittany do that to somebody else?
If I'm making millions of dollars, I don't know. No, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, they're actors.
I'm gonna be scrolling through Pornhub one day, and I'm just, oh god, I see all sorts of bad things happening.
They're millions. You know, these guys are actors. Actors do stuff all the time. You know, my heart goes out to Rusev, man, because like 2 years ago, this dude, you couldn't fucking piss on him to put his fire out, man. He was the hottest shit ever, and they managed to fucking bury it. And, you know, he cut a ton of weight, and he looks like a fucking Roman god. And they saddle him with this shitty angle. That's what I'm saying, man. You hear about Sin Cara wanting out. You hear about O'Neal Lorcan wanting out. You hear, you know, Sasha Banks previously was unhappy. You hear, you know, rumblings about Kairi Sane maybe wanting out. Like, you think back to John Moxley, Dan Ambrose. Before he finished up his run with the company, you didn't hear shit. You didn't hear shit about it, man. Like, in fact, I think we heard at one point that Ambrose actually re-signed a contract, and we were all like, huh. So, like, but he kept his head down. He finished his dates, and when he was done, he was like, I'm done. I think that Rusev is going to take the same approach. He's going to show up to work. He's going to do what he's paid to do. He's going to get over as only he can. And then when his time comes for the re-upping of the contract, he's going to say, nope, and he's off to greener pastures.
Just look at him and go, nope, fuck you.
And can I just say how I love that whenever John Moxley's getting his introduction in the ring by Justin Roberts, it's the old John Cena effect. It's the Jan Moxley, like it's crazy.
Jan Moxley.
Jan Moxley. Oh
Boys,
my God!
I think we got some some business to do here. Yes, sir. We
do. Oh fuck.
We have. So we may need we may need to jettison hot tag trivia. I mean, we may need to bring in maybe Stump the Chumps. But let's do picks first and see where we end up.
Yeah.
Tom, you are the picks man. I think what was your record coming out of Full Gear, Tom? I
only lost one match. It was the Jericho match because otherwise I picked the same as Ransom did.
Okay, so
wow,
you're
I'm
7-1. Yeah. So fucking Alec Ransom, the man who watches fucking 0 hours of wrestling on a monthly basis, is sitting at 8-0 right now. Fucking go figure.
Yes, he is.
Tom, you're at 7-1.
You are so much saltier than I am about this. It's ridiculous.
Dude, that's it's like it's just like fucking NFL fantasy, man. Like I fucking ingratiate myself in football, and I fucking watch like more football than a fucking human should. And then whenever I sit there and get beat by someone who I know damn well may have watched half the Steeler game and that's it, it fucking grinds my gears. But I digress.
Well, to be fair, whoever is watching the Steeler game, it doesn't matter how much they watch because you've already got your stuff kind of set in stone. I mean, like this is I don't know. This is more predetermined. So I could see you getting more upset about this than actual football because anything could happen on any given team could beat anybody on any.
That's a fair point.
You know.
Anyway, Poot and I, we're
I feel your saltiness. Trust me.
We're trailing Healer 6-2, buddy. So you and I got to step it up. Otherwise, one of these two yahoos are going to beat us.
And just wait.
I've had a good run.
Damn it, Poot.
Just wait till I spray paint that son of a bitch. I'll tell you.
Don't you worry, Tom. You'll not have a chance. Anyway, go on.
Oh.
No, not because you won't be champ. Just trust me. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I promised Beef I would at least saran wrap it, so I didn't actually get it on the belt. All right, so yeah, I know. All right, so I'm gonna start.
Saran wrap ashes. What? Go on.
All right, so let's start off with NXT Takeover War Games. What I've got listed so far, first match, we got the women's War Game match. Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, and Tegan Nox versus Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kaylee Ray. Let's just start it off down the line. Start with the champ. Champ, what do you say?
Oh, it has to be Ripley's team. It has to be. You have to, even if she doesn't, prevent the loss or whatever. It has to be Ripley. Ripley has to get that victory. She has to over Baszler. Baszler's going to go Baszler's already faffing around up on the main roster a little bit. Like it's got to be Ripley.
Okay. Beef. Believe
it or not, yeah, I agree. Like as big of a weekend as I think Shayna Baszler's going to have, and she's going to have a good one. I'm picking Ripley because for the same reason, man. Like right now, she's got to be the next challenger, and in order for that, she's got to look strong here. So I think that Team Ripley gets the win, and I think that Rhea is involved directly with the win, maybe even over Baszler. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Team Ripley on this one, because I feel like in if we're gonna have some heels win anywhere, it's gonna be the Undisputed Era, which let's be honest, is the cool heels. So even when the Undisputed Era wins, it's not like, sons of bitches, I really didn't want them to win. It's like, yeah, I wanted them to win, I really did, but.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I feel like we do this every single pay-per-view with Shayna Baszler. We're like, okay, this is the pay-per-view that she's definitely going to lose at.
And then she doesn't.
Which I'm fine. Like, ironically, I'm becoming more and more fine with,
Well, I mean, I just feel like there's got to be one of those things Like, okay, let me put it to you this way: if this War Games was last on the card, you would most definitely have to send the crowd home happy, and would have to be Team Ripley. If not, then it's fine if the Undisputed Era wins the one later on. So we'll get to that though. So we're Team Ripley so far, and I'm not sure when we'll get the picks in from Ransom, but we will. And I'm not going to post these up until Saturday anyway, so it's fine. We've got time, and especially if anything else gets added in, we'll fit it in there before the week's over. So next one, Matt Riddle versus Finn Balor. Beef, you're up to pick first.
Balor.
Okay. Good old Finn Balor.
I think we may see the Demon. I'm not 100%, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see the Demon.
I'm also going to go with Finn Balor because depending on what they do, I don't know if they're going to go with Ciampa or if they're going to go with Balor next for as the next champ in line after Cole. But I feel like Balor coming back needs to have some sort of big impact. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll see some more. Maybe we'll see some people accompany him that he's been teasing the whole, like Bullet Club signal or whatever. Maybe we'll see some people come in out of left field and he'll make a whole new faction. Who knows? I don't know. But I feel like Matt Riddle is somebody that can take a bunch of losses. He can eat all the pins and he's still going to just look amazingly strong anyways. It's not going to hurt him as much. So I say Balor in this case. Poot, who you got?
The Prince is back, Balor. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have Balor lose. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sorry that we're picking the same stuff here, but like how do you have Balor lose? By the way,
you don't bring him back and have him lose his first match,
Where's the time splitter?
Injured.
He's hurt.
Oh, he's hurt? Okay. Anyway, go on.
Yeah.
Next
yeah,
one.
we had mentioned that earlier. Kushida is currently injured, although how long ago was that injury with his broken hand or whatever it was?
That was the second.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the second week of NXT live. So that would have been about
week 2.
month and a half ago.
So it's been 5 weeks because there's been 7 weeks. So there's been 7 weeks of head to head with NXT and AEW. So
got to be getting close.
So you never know.
Okay.
All right. All right. So next one I got is the triple threat that was just announced today, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Officially today, yes.
Okay. Triple threat match to determine number 1 contender for NXT Championship. It says at Survivor Series, but I'm not seeing that match in particular listed on the Survivor Series card off of WWE site. Is it listed on the wiki? It's on
Wikipedia. Yep.
Okay, well then maybe that's what I need to check then, because for Survivor Series I was going off of the WWE main site. So, anyways,
check the wiki.
Well, okay then. All right, so we got Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane versus Damian Priest. So I'm up to pick first, and I got to pick Pete Dunne. I mean, if you're gonna have somebody challenge Adam Cole, Pete Dunne's the only face out of those 3 anyways, so it's got to be Pete. Poot, who you got?
It's gonna be old Peter Dune.
Peter Dune. And Beef.
I mean, I could see a scenario because you want to get Damian Priest over the big guy, and I mean Killian Dane could really use the push too. But I mean, realistically, like Survivor Series is kind of. I'm not gonna. Survivor Series is kind of a showcase for NXT.
Do it.
Live forever, Beef. Do it.
Survivor Series is kind of a showcase for NXT. Like, this is their way of making people watch NXT. The goal of Survivor Series is to get eyes on NXT versus AEW. So I think they got to put the best stuff out there. And I think that if you're talking the best match possible, you're talking Cole versus Dunne. So I think that it's going to be Peter Dunne. Yes, sir. Peter.
No, Peter Dune. I can't. That was so funny. Live forever.
Hashtag live forever. Do it.
Live forever.
All right. And then the other War Games match, we have the Undisputed Era versus Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, and to be determined. We don't know. Hopefully, we'll find out tomorrow night. Once this podcast is airing, it'll already be after the fact. So, for all of you in the future, suck it. But who do we got in this one?
That's 2 words.
I know, right? Back around to you, Poot. Who do you got?
Dicks.
Yeah.
Tom plans this. I know it.
No, I don't. No, I just go right down the line. I rotate it around, buddy.
No, I don't. I just.
No.
Man, this one's tough. I really want to see Undisputed Era go over. I do. Really bad. I'm going with Team Ciampa.
Ooh.
Picking Ciampa.
Pick a Ciampa.
I was gonna say if I lose that title and I get it back, I'm gonna say Plastique welcome home instead of Goldie.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Beef.
So I think it's going to be Undisputed Era because right now they're 1-1 in War Games, and I think they have to finish out.
There it is.
I think they have to finish out because I honestly with all of the with all the invasion stuff that's happening here.
I'm sorry, I hear the nut button. Go on. I was waiting for you. Missed an opportunity. He's like with all the, and there was a big break, and you had a perfect opportunity to nut there.
Go on, Beef. I won't.
With all of the, I'm just fucking no selling it. With all of the invasion stuff happening, you got to figure the Undisputed Era has to be on its way up. Like Undisputed Era has to be on its way up. So I think that they have to at least have a winning record in War Games to have a stone's throw of being one of the greatest factions of all time. That said, the other half of me is saying that it's very likely that the other 4 guys and a question mark are going to be the Survivor Series team for versus Raw and SmackDown. So it feels like it's dumb to have the face team lose and then represent NXT the next night. But I can't get over there's no way the Undisputed Era go 1 and 2 at War Games, so I'm picking the Era. And I don't mean the Wargos.
And I agree that I think Undisputed Era's got to go over in this case because I don't know, it just seems to make sense to me. I don't know. It does. I have no other way to say it except it makes sense. So I'm going with Undisputed Era. All right, so the Survivor Series main card. Beef, do you already have the wiki pulled up for that or no?
Yeah, I can. Well, no, but
never mind.
I got it. You got
Never mind, I got it. We're good. All right, I just had to change pages here for a second. Okay, so that one is listed on the wiki, so let's do that. Since we just got done talking about Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole versus the winner of the triple threat match at NXT TakeOver War Games. Who's up to pick next? It's Beef. So who you got, Beef?
You got to feel bad for these guys because they War Games is going to be like a hellish match. It always is, and then they got to turn around to pull double do the next night. And I'm sure that they are expected to have some of the best matches on the card. That being said, it's way too soon for Adam Cole to lose that belt. So Adam Cole wins, baby.
I'm with you on that one. Cole's got to win, and it's more than likely going to be against Pete Dunne. Oh, Peter Dunne. Poot, who you got?
So we're going to say we're sacrificing Peter Dunne to the gods here.
Yep.
I mean,
Although,
to be fair,
if
look,
you want
it's
to
my
have the
turn to talk.
NXT,
It's my turn to talk.
go ahead, Poot. Peace.
Jeepers creepers. The Pete, the old Peter Dune carried that UK belt for what
85 days.
85 days. Man can carry a belt, and man can make a belt feel fucking important. Not that the NXT Championship doesn't feel important, but if what Beef says is true about Era going up, you go out on your back, lose War Games, lose the belts, the Era's over, they move up to the main roster.
Well, this is also this is assuming that Pete Dunne is gonna be the winner of that triple threat match.
If
so
it's anyone but Pete Dunne, then Adam Cole's gonna win 1,000%.
But you think it's Pete Dunne based off of our earlier picks. So
I think it's Pete Dunne, and that's like.
Here's another thought, and this may sway you one way or the other, but I think that Mr. Dunn and Walter have some unresolved business. How huge would it be to have NXT champion versus NXT UK champion down the line?
at a Survivor Series or
No, like
just in
at
general.
the NXT, like at NXT Takeover WrestleMania this year, like have done Walter versus for NXT champion versus NXT UK champion. Like that'd be a big fucking deal.
oh,
for
and
me.
somebody end up holding both belts.
Well, not even that, but just have champion versus champion would be a big
Oh.
fight feel,
But on the same coin, what better stage to have Adam Cole lose his belt than WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Also true.
Like, it's kind of a crapshoot. And
We're also talking about, since we just mentioned Walter, I mean, I don't know if it was just because there was because last week's Raw was one of the taped episodes in the UK, but you saw the Imperium come in as part of the quote unquote invasion. Do you think that's could they be going that route for Survivor Series in general? Could we get Imperium come in? That way
Yeah,
it gives that gives Undisputed Era and everybody else the night off, because regardless that it is NXT UK, it's still NXT.
Undisputed Era is working no matter what, because Cole's defending title, and then Fish and O'Reilly are in the tag match, and Roddy Strong's in the mid card match. So yeah.
Okay. Well, still getting back to that. Poot,
So what do you think, Poot? Yeah. Who are you calling here?
man, I wish that I could do a thing where I would say Adam Cole, but if it's Adam Cole, Pete Dunne, I pick Pete Dunne. I wish I could do that. I'm gonna go with.
I mean, if you have confidence in your picks,
Listen, shut your mouth. You're not winning the belt. One of those two idiots is.
Damn right.
I've never heard anyone be so happy to be called an idiot before.
Hey, I'll take it if it means Beef's not winning the belt.
I gotta go with Cole. Like you said, he hasn't had that belt that long, and he'll be the last one to lose his belt. He'll be the last one of the era to drop the belt.
Yep.
And it'll be at Mania. I'm gonna go with. with Cole.
Now I'm second guessing because you guys have talked me into a conundrum, because I think he's gonna be the first one of the era to lose his belts.
No.
And
It'll crumble from below.
No, it'll crumble from up top, man.
No, it'll
Poot,
start.
You make some wonderful points, Pete Dunne.
It'll start from the bottom. And then Cole will get pissed at the rest of the era. They'll stand by him. It won't be like a breakup, but he'll turn into Like, we'll say Roddy Strong loses it. Then the tag belts are gone. And he's like, I'm the last one left. I'm the last one of the and he'll lose it at Mania.
If I didn't have another title upset pick later on in the evening, I would definitely pick Pete Dunne.
That's assuming Pete Dunne goes.
Yeah, that's assuming he goes. But
you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna win if I pick all the same. I'm picking Pete Dunne.
Okay, so you're saying whoever challenges Cole, they're gonna win. So
correct. But in this case, challenger. Right? Exactly.
All right, that's a bold strategy, Cotton.
I really hope it's Damian Priest.
That'd be great, right?
Okay, I'm putting challenger for you. All right, let's go with. I'm just gonna go in reverse order up the card here. I'm working from whatever they had last. That was number 8 on the card that they had. The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. I believe I'm up to pick, and I say it's still got to be the Fiend. There's no way they're going to take that off of him that quickly. I don't know.
Never
I can't
underestimate WWE's ability to fuck everything up.
I understand.
We also had Hell in a Cell in as a shoe-in, so here we are.
This is true. But yeah, I'm picking Bray Wyatt. I think they got some more. I think he's going to hold that thing until Mania, and I think he's going to drop it to Roman at Mania. Poot.
I'm gonna go with Bray Wyatt because they made such a big fucking hoop-de-doo about like color changing belts and stuff. Although they dropped the ball not letting him use the Bray Wyatt custom belt.
Yes, agreed.
Or did they?
That's what I was gonna say. Thanks, Beef. That maybe the Fiend will just have another belt and Bray will only have the blue one. I'm gonna go with Fiend.
Okay. Beef.
I'd kind of like to see Bray Wyatt on Sunday, not the Fiend. I kind of want to see like Bray. Because
hey, we don't have time for the history lesson.
Oh, fuck off. Okay, so you guys can have your conversations. That's great. No, fuck off. It's my podcast too. Because I think that the Fiend is already becoming a little bit trite. I think too much of a good thing is definitely applicable here. That being said, I am picking whether it's Wyatt, whether it's the Fiend, whomever. I'm picking that person to hold on to the title over Bryan.
All right. Let's see. Triple threat: AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Roderick Strong. This is just your whatever fuck all champion versus champion match. Poot, you're up.
What a fucky match. I don't even know. I you know what? Just because I want to be different, I'm gonna pick Roddy Strong.
Okay.
I guarantee you Roddy Strong is there to eat the pin, but I'm going to go with Strong just because fuck it.
Okay. Beef?
I feel like they're going to make a real effort to make NXT look strong on this event. But at the same time, like I think that brand supremacy is important. So I think they still view Raw as the A show, so I think AJ Styles gets the win here.
I'm with you on that. I think that they want NXT to look strong. Maybe one of the other matches they'll have them win, but I'm picking AJ for this one. All right. The men's Survivor Series 5-on-5-on-5. Team Raw, which is Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Ricochet, versus Team SmackDown, which is Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, Braun Strowman, King Corbin, and Shorty G. I hate that name still. Versus Team NXT, to be announced. We don't know who it's going to be yet. Beef, you are up to pick.
This is where you make hay in the sunshine. Team NXT wins.
Okay. I wish I didn't have to pick this next. I'm trying to think if it's going to be this match or the tag match where they have You know what? I think I'm with you on this one. I think I'm going to pick Team NXT on this one in particular. Poot.
NXT upset.
Okay. All right. Now
Wouldn't surprise me, by the way, if the fifth man was Balor.
For
the NXT 5-man, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, but they don't have any of the Team NXT listed on here yet. So
I'm given that the Attitude Era, my goodness, given that the Undisputed Era is otherwise occupied, I get the feeling it's going to be Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dijakovic, probably the fourth guy from from War Games, and probably Balor. So that's just my feeling, but
it would lead to really good moments between him and oh wait, never mind. Go on.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see who we got next. Women's 5-on-5-on-5 Team Raw, which is Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Sarah Logan. I don't know how she managed to get in there, but okay, cool. Good to see her back. Versus Team SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross versus Team NXT to be announced. I'm up to pick on this one, and I'm going to say it's going to be Team Raw at this point. Just because Charlotte Flair and reasons.
Who's on Team SmackDown?
It's Sasha, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be Team Raw.
Team Raw? Okay. That worked out perfect because you were next to pick. Beef?
Team SmackDown.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, Raw or Fox has said that they don't want to be looked at as the inferior brand, so SmackDown has to come out big in at least one of the matches. And I think this is probably the only matches they come in big at. So I think that the women's, if nothing else, because I think Sasha Banks is, boss time. I think she'll lead that team to victory.
Well, I have a theory about that, but we'll see. All right. Well, the Survivor Series tag match, Viking Raiders, versus the New Day versus Undisputed Era. Beef, wait, no. Who did I picked that first last, didn't I? Yeah, I did. So,
I think it would be my turn.
No. This is the tag team champions all around match. Actually, Poot's up to pick because I picked that one first.
You said New Day.
It's Viking Raiders versus New Day versus Undisputed Era. And you're up to pick.
Damn it.
I know, right?
Again, just because I feel like throwing this belt off a cliff.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
I'm going with representatives from SmackDown on this one. I'm going with New Day.
Okay. Beef?
Viking Raiders. Because, like I said, I think the Raw is still the top show, and I think that they'll win the most brand supremacy matches.
Now, see, this is where I'm actually with Poot on this, and I don't think it's a throwaway. I think it's going to be the New Day. I think you have NXT have the upset in the men's match, but I think in this case, this one doesn't feel like as big of a Survivor Series match as the traditional 5-on-5. So I think this is where SmackDown gets their victory, and Fox can be happy with their new tag team champions that just got crowned last week here. So I'm going with New Day. And then we got the women's champions match. We got Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Shayna Baszler, and Beef is up to pick first on this one.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but if Shayna Baszler does not win this match, I will riot. As much as I've rooted against her, I think that this is her time, and she has to win this match.
So he's picking Baszler.
By hook or by crook.
I'm thinking this is one where Baszler's not going to win, but she's not going to get pinned. I think Bayley's going to get the win over Becky. And SmackDown will get Fox will get their brand supremacy here, with winning the most matches or whatever. So I'm going to go with Bayley for the win on this one. And Poot.
Baszler. I think it'll be Bayley because we need to keep pushing the Bayley train. Like, it just has to happen. Like, the heel turn for her was so good. The change in character, change in theme, change of tone, change of aggression. I think it's one of those, everyone goes, Baszler's going to win this, Baszler's going to win it, and then out of nowhere, Bayley gets it. I'm going to say Bayley.
And I cannot stress enough, I'm saying Bayley gets like a roll-up pin or something on Becky. She's not going to pin Baszler. They're not going to make Baszler look weak. And can I just say that is it just me, or in Bayley's new theme, does it sound a little bit like, does it have the same beat as like The Rock's old music? Listen to it and let me know.
Haven't watched SmackDown since she turned heel, so maybe.
Okay. And then the last match, a no holds barred match for the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio. I believe I'm up first to pick, and stupid blockhead Bork Lesnar.
Bork.
Well, it's okay if you picked out a line, but that's all right.
No, that's not my pick. No, that's not my pick.
Okay. Poot, who do you got?
Oh, Mysterio.
Yeah?
Yeah, because old dumpy body Magoo gets involved. Or Mysterio's son gets involved and screws Lesnar out of the title. Mysterio has it one last time for a brief hot cup of coffee, and Bork Lesnar gets it back later. But I'm going with Mysterio on this one. Just because, again, fuck it.
Beef?
Yes, sir. I am also picking Rey Mysterio. This is my upset because Fox wanted Lesnar, man. And, yeah, Lesnar has the title, but that doesn't mean that he's Raw's property. That title is Raw's property, and I don't remember how Heyman put it, but bottom line is Fox wanted Lesnar. They're going to get Lesnar, and Ray gets the title for whatever fucking reason, and then who the fuck knows what happens next. But yeah, I think Rey Mysterio.
Who the hell is going to take the title off of Mysterio then?
Who fucking cares? Anybody. The fucking cotton candy guy. I don't get, fucking Ron Truth Killings. Yeah, exactly. Who the fuck ever? Like, it's gonna be a cup of coffee, But yeah, I think that this is his like Poot said, his one last gasp. So.
Oh man.
Either way, I think we have a really stacked card, top to bottom on both shows. So I'm excited to actually check out some wrestling this weekend for the first time, and I'm excited to check out WWE product for the first time, and probably since Hell in a Cell. So we'll see.
Yeah. So being on time constraints, I'm assuming we're skipping hot tag trivia this week, correct?
Skipping the witches.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we doing a stump the chumps or no?
Yeah, skip it.
Skip it all.
Save
Got it.
For whenever Ransom's back.
Ransom. All right. So let me know if whoever, assuming he just puts it in the chat or whatever. Beef, you already messaged him the cards then? The matches?
Sure did.
Sweet.
Sure did.
All right. Well, who wants to close this sumbitch out unless you want me to do it?
I did the opener. Someone else do the close.
I'll take it. We'd like to thank our sponsors, besides myself, nepotism aside, we'd like to thank Mr. Sean Tischler with all his work that he does bringing IWC to the central Pennsylvania area, specifically Clearfield. They will have another event coming up in probably in April or so, I believe he said, up in there in Clearfield. So make sure to check that out. But in the meantime, for all stuff IWC related, there is going to be a show down here in Elizabeth, PA. And that is going to be on Saturday, December the 7th. I don't know what the bell time is, but it's the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic. So make sure if you get a chance to go check out an indie show, go check out that one. It should be a really, really good card. And then, like I said, nepotism aside, thanks to Casual Gaming Dad, because it sounds so weird thanking myself that if anybody's going to do it, why not? Let me do it. Let me be awkward for thanking myself. So check me out over on Facebook, on YouTube. You can catch me on Twitch, Casual Gaming Dad 84, where I'm constantly, every stream, always plugging this wonderful show here. So fulfilling my duties as a sponsor, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Tom, that's probably the best sponsorship spot we've had for Casual Gaming Dad yet, just so you're aware.
Hey, when you want something done right, do
That's
it
it,
yourself.
right?
But no, thanks everybody for listening to the show. As always, all 4 of you, maybe 5 by now, who knows? I don't know. I know I listen to it, and it entertains me. So if it doesn't entertain you, I got 2 words for you. Pittsburgh Piledriver. Good night, folks.
Fucker. I wasn't wearing pants this whole episode. I was dick out.
Please tell me you just left that on and kept it going. That would have been great.
Balls too.